So we're down to module 4, which we will be having our first lesson for this module. So ang lesson natin today is composing inverted sentences with correct subject and verb agreement. So the things that this lesson will help you to identify inverted sentences. Ano nga ba pag sinabi nating inverted sentences? Also, you can construct clear and coherent sentences using appropriate grammatical structures, or what we call subject-verb agreement, with the use of or applying this subject-verb agreement sa mga inverted sentence. And lastly, this lesson will help you to observe subject-verb agreement at all times. Okay? So, clear and coherent sentences, kailangan natin to, no? Sa mga sentences na sasabihin natin in English language especially, for us to be understood of para mas maintindihan tayo nung listener natin or yung kinakausap natin. So kung malabo or hindi organized yung mga sentences na ginagawa natin or sinasabi natin sa kausap natin, syempre, hindi nila tayo maintindihan. That's why in English language, we should have clear and coherent sentences. Okay? So this lesson will help you to have that. So, let's have first an activity. So, let's practice what you learned or what you have, no? Or anong prior knowledge ang meron kayo. So, we will read each sentence carefully, and then I will give you siguro 10 seconds to identify if the underlined word, rather, is a subject, no? Write S, and write V if the underlined word is verb. So again, sa kada sentence, meron tayong mga underlined word. So, i-identify nyo whether that underlined word is a subject. Pag sinabi nating subject, ito yung pinag-uusapan sa isang sentence. At kung ito naman ay verb, or pag sinabi nating verb, action word, no? Katulad ng cooking, baking, exercising, or exercise, you will write V if it is a verb. So, our first sentence here is, from the office, the manager holds a meeting with his staff. So, ano yung word na holds? Is it subject or is it a verb? For the second one, at the back of the valley live many farmers. So, ano yung word na live? Is it subject or is it verb? And then the third sentence is, here are the flowers that you sent me. So what is the word sent? Is it a subject or a verb? So I'm giving you 15 seconds, no? 5 seconds per each sentence to identify whether the underlined word is a subject or verb. So again, kapag subject, write S in your notebook, or if it is a verb, write V. So time starts now. All right. So time's up. So let's go to the other sentences. So we have fifth, and sixth sentences. So again, you need to identify the underlined words, whether they are subject, so you will write S, and if it's a verb, you write V. So for the fourth sentence, in the center of the stage are two chandeliers. So what is the word are? Is it a subject or verb? For the fifth one, the teacher speaks his opinion clearly. So what is the word teacher? Is it a subject or a verb? And number six, my sister likes fuchsia pink. So what is the word likes? Is it a subject or a verb? So again, I'm giving you 15 seconds to write your answers on your notebook. Time starts now. All right. So time is up. So let's check your answer. So let's have first the um 1, 2, 3 na sentences. So the word holds is a verb. Why? Because this is an action word. No, action word siya. So the subject here is the manager. So, yun yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? That na yung manager ay magkakaroon ng meeting or gagawa siya ng isang meeting with his staff. Okay? So, yung word na holds ay verb. For the second sentence, yung word na live is a verb or action word. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga farmers, which is the subject of the sentence, ay nakatira sa likod ng isang valley. Okay? So, yung word na live ay verb or action word. For the word sent, so this is a verb. So, the correct answer here is letter B or B because the flowers is the subject. So, ito yung pinag-uusapan. So, yung flowers ay ibinigay doon sa kausap. So, yung sent na word ay verb or action word or kilos. Okay? For the fourth one, in the center of the stage are two chandeliers. So, ang pinag-uusapan dito or ang subject dito ay two chandeliers. So, yung word na are ay verb or action word. So, for the fifth one, the teacher speaks his opinion clearly. So, yung pinag-uusapan dito ay teacher. So, yung teacher ay subject. Okay? While the verb is speaks. Kasi ito yung kilos or ito yung gawa or ito yung action word na kinikilos ng subject. And for the last one, my sister likes fuchsia pink. So, pinag-uusapan dito ay yung sister, bali ang word na likes ay verb. So, pag sinabing subject, ito yung pinag-uusapan sa isang sentence. Usually, ito ay person, ito ay thing, ito ay place, no? Katulad ng teacher, ng sister. Pero pag sinabing verb, ito yung action word or yung kinikilos sa sentence. So, a verb must agree with its subject in number and in person. So, meaning, a subject in singular form must have a singular verb. So, pag singular yung subject, ibig sabihin, pag isa lang yung subject, singular din dapat yung verb or action word. Minsan, ginagawa natin ay nag-a-add tayo ng S or ES sa dulo. So, it signifies or it shows na yung verb ay singular. So, it should agree with the subject. So, kung singular ang subject, singular din dapat ang verb. And if ang subject ay plural, ibig sabihin two or more or dalawa or higit pa yung pinag-uusapan, kailangan plural din yung verb. Minsan, ginagawa nating or kapag magiging plural yung verb, hindi natin dinadagdagan ng S or ES. Katulad neto, the teacher. So, hindi naman sinabing teachers. So, teacher isa lang. So, that's why the verb is singular. So, meron tayong letter S. The teacher speaks. Okay? So, katulad din itong my sister likes. So, isa lang naman yung sister, hindi naman sinabing my sisters. So, pag may sisters, like lang siya, walang S. Pero dahil singular lang ang pinag-uusapan natin o yung sister, isa lang, kaya tayo naglalagay ng S sa dulo ng verb. Kaya my sister likes. So, this one or this verb agrees with the subject. So, pag singular ang subject, singular din ang verb. Kapag plural ang subject, plural din ang verb. So, most of the sentences in English ay nagfo-follow sa ganong rule na subject-verb agreement or dapat naman talaga na nagfo-follow tayo sa subject-verb agreement para maintindihan tayo ng kausap natin. But in most cases, in English sentences or language, laging nauuna yung subject bago yung verb. Katulad ng sentences na 'to sa set A, itong dalawang sentences sa set A. Kung babasahin natin, the dog runs toward the bone and many Filipinos love adobo. So yung dog, yung pinag-uusapan natin or the subject at nauuna 'to bago yung verb which is run. So pag sinabi nating runs or run, 'di ba? Ito yung natakbo. So yung run na word or runs ay action word. So yung Filipinos naman ito yung pinag-uusapan, so ito yung subject at yung verb naman ay yung love. So as you can see, nauuna yung subject bago yung verb. So ganon kadalasan sa mga sentences sa English. However, there are some instances na minsan nauuna naman yung verb bago si subject. So tinatawag natin silang inverted sentences. Ibig sabihin, kapag nauna si verb bago si subject, we call that inverted sentences. Katulad nung mga sentences sa set B. As you can see, sabi dito, in her hand is 2 roses. In her hand are 2 roses. Kung mapapansin po natin, nauna yung preposition na in her hand. So parehas yan, no? Sa unang sentence, pangalawang sentence, in her hand at in her hand. At after ng preposition na yan, or prepositional phrase, nauna naman si verb. So yung verb ay is, pati are, bago yung subject na 2 roses. So magkaiba sila sa set A pati sa set B. Kasi yung set A, nauuna yung subject bago yung verb. Pero sa set B, nauuna yung verb bago si subject. Now, kapag may mga inverted sentences tayong na-encounter or nakikita or nababasa, minsan nagkakaroon tayo ng confusion. Hindi natin minsan namamalayan na hindi na pala nag-a-agree yung verb sa subject na pinag-uusapan natin. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga um, mali sa mga sentences natin. So, dahil nakaka-confuse or nakakalito kung tama ba yung is or are, no, dito sa dalawang sentences na 'to, we have techniques para gawing tama kung magkakaroon man tayo ng mali or confusion sa mga sentences natin. So, ano yung technique na pupuwede nating gawin or pupuwede nating gamitin for us to identify if nag-a-agree pa ba yung verb sa subject kung inverted sentences yung gamit natin or inverted sentences yung na-e-encounter natin. So the technique to finding the correct subject and verb in an inverted sentence is by rephrasing it in the normal order. So ano nga ba pag sinabi nating normal order? So yung normal order ay yung nauuna yung subject bago yung verb. Okay? Kasi nga pag sinabi nating inverted sentence, nauuna yung verb kaysa kay subject. Pero yung normal order na pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung sentence na nauuna yung subject pati yung verb. Okay? So paano natin malalaman if tama yung subject at verb agreement doon sa isang sentence kasi nga sabi natin 'di ba, dapat nag-a-agree yung verb sa subject. Kung singular ang subject, dapat singular din ang verb. Kung plural ang subject, dapat plural din ang verb. So kung may inverted sentence tayong nakikita or ginagamit, para malaman natin if tama ba yung subject at verb, we will rephrase it in the normal order. So pag sinabing normal order ulit, nauuna yung subject bago yung verb. So parang babaliktarin natin sila ulit. So meron tayong mga steps. So step 1, analyze the original sentence. So katulad nung kanina, 'di ba, dito sa dalawang sentences na 'to, hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung tama, no? Kasi in her hand is 2 roses or in her hand are 2 roses. So ano ba dito yung tama? Is or are? So our step 1 is to analyze the original sentence. In her hand is 2 roses. So step 2, ask what is being talked about and write it down before anything else. So ano ba yung pinag-uusapan or ano ba yung subject sa sentence na to? Basically, ang subject or ang pinag-uusapan natin ay yung 2 roses. Okay? Step 3, add the existing verb. So ano yung verb na ginamit sa original sentence? Is. So 2 roses is. So step 3 na tayo ha. So dinagdag natin yung existing verb or yung verb na ginamit sa original sentence which is. So meron tayong subject, 2 roses, at verb na is. So for our step 4, write the rest of the words. So ilagay lang natin yung mga natirang words dun sa original sentence. 2 roses is in her hand. Now, step 5. We will check if the subject and verb agrees. So tignan natin if tama ba yung verb na ginamit natin. Kasi sabi natin ulit kanina, kailangan kung singular ang subject, singular din ang verb. Kung plural ang subject, plural din ang verb. So, the verb is does not agree with 2 roses. Bakit? Yung 2 roses kasi ay plural, 'di ba? May pinag-uusapan tayo na dalawang roses or dalawang flowers. Meaning to say, yung verb na is, kasi yung is ay ginagamit kapag isa lang or singular yung subject natin. So, tingin nyo ba? tama na gamitin yung is kung 2 roses or dalawang flowers yung pinag-uusapan natin, which is plural? 'Di ba hindi? Kasi yung is ay pang sub or ay pang singular. That's why we will go to step 6. If the verb agrees with the subject, use it. Pero kung hindi, change it. So, dahil ang subject natin ay dalawang flowers, which is more than one or which is plural, we will change it to are. So, 2 roses are in her hand. Hindi is, kasi pag yung is, singular to or isang flower lang dapat yung pinag-uusapan natin. Pero in our sentence, 2 roses. So, more than one. So, our verb should agree with our subject. So, 2 roses are in her hand. Okay? So, nagkaroon na tayo ng normal order ng sentence at hindi na siya inverted, no? Kasi nauuna na yung subject bago si verb. So, subject is 2 roses at are ay verb. So, for the step 7, you convert it back to the inverted sentence. So, in her hand are 2 roses. Ibig sabihin, yung pinakatama dito sa dalawang ito ay ito yung number 2. In her hand are 2 roses. Hindi itong una kasi mali ito. Okay? So, ganun nyo i-identify or ganun natin malalaman if tama ba yung gagamitin nating verb kapag inverted sentences yung na-encounter natin or gagawin natin. Okay? So, we have step 1 to step 7. So, meron pa tayong mga examples dito for you to understand more about the inverted sentences and paano dapat nag-a-agree yung verb sa subject o yung pinag-uusapan. So, we have prepositional phrases here. At the back of the car is a dog. So basically, nag-a-agree or tama yung verb na ginamit natin kasi yung subject natin ay isa lang naman, which is a dog, no? Isang dog lang. So that's why we use the verb is kasi isa nga lang yung subject natin or singular lang. So our verb is singular and our subject is singular. That's why they agree or tama yung paggamit natin. For the second sentence, in a corner stand 3 horses. So yung subject natin ay more than one, which is plural, no? Kasi 3 horses, ibig sabihin 3 kabayo. That's why our verb is only stand. Okay? Pag naglagay tayo dyan ng S after ng word na stands, dapat singular yung subject natin, pero hindi. Dahil 3 kabayo or more than one na kabayo yung pinag-uusapan natin. That's why our verb should not have S. So, stand lang siya. So, our verb is plural, stand, and our subject is plural, 3 horses. That's why they agree. Tama ang subject at verb natin. And lastly, on top of the table are cats. So, ano yung pinag-uusapan natin? Cats. At it is more than one. Kasi kapag one lang to, dapat cat lang to. Walang S. Pero dahil may S, ibig sabihin more than one yung pusa na pinag-uusapan natin. That's why our verb is are. Kasi yung are, ginagamit natin kapag marami or more than one yung subject natin. So our verb is are, which is plural, and our subject is cats, which is plural. So now, remember that in inverted sentences, the subject is found after the verb. So kapag inverted sentences, katulad ng mga pinag-usapan natin kanina or pinag-aralan natin kanina, sa inverted sentences, nauuna yung verb bago sa subject. Pero sa mga normal order or normal sentences, nauuna sa subject bago sa verb. Okay? Pero again, in inverted sentences, kaya nga siya tinawag na inverted kasi nauuna si verb bago sa subject. So these sentences may begin with the words here and there or with a prepositional phrase such as in or at the back, in a corner, beside the store, and many others. Even in this case, the subject and the verb must agree. Kahit hindi normal sentence yung inverted sentences, kailangan tama pa rin yung verb at mag-a-agree ito sa subject. So again, kung singular ang subject, singular din dapat ang verb. So nagiging singular ang verb kapag naglalagay tayo ng s or es sa dulo ng verb. Kapag plural naman yung subject, plural din dapat yung verb. So paano nagiging plural yung verb? Huwag natin siyang lagyan ng es or s sa dulo. So they should agree with each other. So now, let's assess what you learn. So our direction here is complete each of the inverted sentences by choosing the correct form of the verb inside the parentheses. So, kukumpletuhin natin yung inverted sentences na nandito. So, lahat ng sentences na ito ay inverted sentences. So, pag sinabi natin ulit na inverted sentences, nauuna si verb bago si subject. So now, we will choose the correct form of the verb inside the parenthesis. So, choose lang tayo ng isa. Okay? At dapat, again, mag-agree yung verb sa subject na pinag-uusapan natin. So, for our first sentence, rather, up to the crest of the towering wave, paddles or paddle the intrepid surfer. So, anong subject natin dito? The intrepid surfer. So again, singular or plural ba yung subject natin? So you use or you choose between these two verbs. Okay? So paddles ba or paddle ang sagot? For number 2, has or have anyone seen the shirt that goes with these white pants? So you choose the correct form of the verb. Has ba or have? So ang subject natin dito ay anyone. Okay? So, kung singular to, you choose singular verb. Kung plural ito, you choose plural verb. For the third one, beneath the gigantic trees, nestle or nestles tiny shade-loving plants. So, ano yung subject dito? And then after you identify the subject, you choose between the two. Ano ba yung tamang verb? Nestle or nestles? Number 4, in that white field, grow or grows the tulips I love so dearly. So what is the subject, no, of these sentences or of this sentence? So after you identify the subject, you choose between the two, grow ba or grows ang tamang verb. And number 5, here in grade 5 arts class, develop or develops the creative minds of tomorrow. So what is the subject of this sentence? And again, you need to choose between the two, develop or develops. At again, kung singular ang subject, singular din dapat ang verb. Kung plural ang subject, plural din ang verb. So that they can agree. So I'm giving you 1 minute to choose your answers. Okay? From 1 to 5. So time starts now. Right, time's up. So, let's check your answer. So, for our first sentence, ano ba yung subject natin dito? So, our subject is surfer. So, as you can see, surfer. Ibig sabihin, ito ay singular. Kasi isa lang na surfer yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, dahil singular ang subject natin, we need to choose singular verb here. So, pag singular na verb, di ba, nilalagyan natin ng S sa dulo. Kapag plural naman, hindi natin siya nilalagyan. So, kung singular ang subject natin dito, we choose the word paddles. Okay? Because paddles is a singular verb. Kung paddle naman, ito yung plural. So, dahil singular ang subject natin, we use or we choose paddles as singular verb. So, the correct answer here is paddles. For the number 2, Has or have, ano ang tamang sagot? So our subject is anyone. So ang anyone ay singular. So anong singular dito sa dalawang ito? So the correct answer is has. So, has ay singular. Ginagamit natin tong verb na to kung singular ang subject natin. Kung have naman, ginagamit natin to kapag plural yung subject. Because anyone is a singular subject, we use, or the correct answer here is has. So, has anyone seen the shirt that goes with these white pants? So, that's the correct answer. For number 3, ang subject dito or ang pinag-uusapan dito sa sentence na 'to ay tiny shade loving plants. So, plants, ibig sabihin hindi lang isang plant or hindi lang isang isang halaman kasi meron tayong word or meron tayong S sa dulo. So, plants, ibig sabihin more than one. So, dahil more than one siya, so our subject is plural. That's why our verb should also be plural. So the correct form or the correct verb here should be nestle. Kasi plural yung subject natin. So, dapat plural din yung verb natin. So, beneath the gigantic trees, nestle tiny shade-loving plants. So, pag ginawa natin siyang normal order, which is yung mauuna yung subject bago yung verb, so para siyang ganito, tiny shade-loving plants nestle beneath the gigantic trees. Diba? So, tama, nag-a-agree yung subject sa verb na pinili natin. For number 4, anong subject natin dito or pinag-uusapan natin? Ang pinag-uusapan natin ay tulips. So, tulips, ibig sabihin more than one tulip, no? Ibig sabihin yung tulips ay plural. That's why we need to use or we need to choose plural verb. So, ano ba yung plural dito? Grow or grows? So, ang plural dito ay grow. So, kung gagawin natin siyang normal order na sentence, the tulips I love so dearly grow in that wide field. So, nag-a-agree yung subject sa verb. Dahil plural itong tulips, plural din dapat ang verb. And lastly, ang subject dito or ang pinag-uusapan dito sa sentence na 'to ay creative minds. So, creative minds, ibig sabihin maraming minds or maraming creative minds. That's why our plural or our verb should be plural. So, ano ba ang plural dito? Develop or develop? So, again, kapag plural, yun yung walang S or ES sa dulo. Pero pag singular, ito yung may S or ES sa dulo. So, because our subject is plural, so dapat yung correct answer dito ay develop. So, kung gagawin natin siyang normal order na sentence, which is yung subject, yung mauuna bago si verb, it should be like this. The creative minds of tomorrow develop here in grade 5 arts class. So, the correct answers from 1 to 5 ay puddles, has, nestle, grow, and develop. So that's it. No? Thank you so much for listening, and I hope